the whole new moon solar eclipse that's happening on the 29th of March 2025. Now, why I say this is a bit of one that brings a bit of a chaos or stirs a bit of chaos, because it's the same theme, it brings about the same theme of the that what happened in 2023 March. This is the same theme of the Aries Libra eclipses, or the string of eclipses between the Aries and Libra. So Aries and Libras are the opposite, polar opposites. So from then till now, we have been going through the Aries Libra eclipses, or the string of eclipses, and this is the last and final eclipse that's happening in Aries, aspecting or the Aries and Libra axis. So whatever happens in the north affects the south, it impacts the south. For example, if you've got activity in the third house, it's gonna aspect the ninth house. If you've got activity in the second house, it's gonna aspect the eighth house. So now we've got activity on the first house, which will definitely impact the seventh house, which is the cardinal signs, which is Aries and Libra. Now, this is the new moon solar eclipse happening here. So the moon is new, which is in Aries, but it is somewhat covering the sun's presence. So if we look at the sun is responsible for the masculine in you, or that conscious mind in you, the conscious mind which is you during the day. So the sun's presence impacts you, yeah. And during the night, it's the subconscious mind at play, which is the moon. And the moon governs your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings. Therefore, at night, you are very emotional. Everything starts to creep up in the mind. If the mind is not controlled, or if you have no control over your vices, you will suffer a lot of your mind during the night. This is on a normal given day. But on a new moon, or a full moon, or a lunar eclipse, then this is a promoted version of your feelings or your emotions. This is the promoted version. It's intensified. Whatever you do, whatever you say, whatever you think, the thought karma, word karma, and your action karma is intensified during an eclipse. You will find during eclipse season, whatever your emotions are, they are magnified. If you're happy, you'll feel more happy. If you're sad, you'll feel absolutely miserable. It all depends on your state of consciousness. Your state of consciousness is what make you. Whatever you think, you shall feel. Whatever you feel, you shall speak. And whatever you speak, you shall do in most cases. Therefore, your thoughts are the root of it all. So if the thoughts can never be managed, therefore, negative karma is created. And during a new moon solar eclipse in Aries, with Mercury retrograde in Pisces, which is the 12th house of Aries, and you've got Venus, which is the 12th house of Aries, you've got so much of 12th house activity aspecting the 6th house of health. So it seems that a lot of people will be going through past karma. Their emotions are going to come up. And this is particularly regarding entanglements. Now, if you go on Astro In with Abhi on YouTube, right? If you go to Astro In with Abhi on YouTube, you will find my podcast on entanglements. Entanglements are karmic entanglements. They are entanglements with energy. When you act out with somebody, you are entangling yourself with their energy. This is entanglements. And entanglements are not very easy to break, because you build its karmic memory. Fundamentally, you and I are all suffering our mind. If I shut my mind down from working, I am not suffering. So if I'm suffering my mind. The mind is governed by the moon. And right now we have activity in the sign of Aries and Libra. And we have Saturn in the sign of Pisces, which is the 12th house of Aries as well. So because we've got so much activity in the spiritual house of Pisces, which is the last and final house, which is the 12th house of Aries, this is asking you. There is somebody, one of my clients, that asked me, Abhi, you told me on my monthly reports that I should not start anything new, neither should I end anything. But why are you telling me to release? Good human beings, anything means physical. Thing means physical in nature. So you mustn't start anything new or break off anything. But when I say you to release, releasing means to release your thoughts and emotions. Now, how do you do this? Firstly, to release your thoughts and emotions, you need to accept them for what they are. You need to let them play out in your mind. Observe it. Don't get entangled with it. You can find my podcast on entanglements on Astro in Abu Dhabi. I've done a separate podcast on entanglements in relationships. Observe your thoughts. There's no need to get entangled with it. Observe its raw form. Let it play out. Don't be scared. The moment you let your thoughts play out and there's something that's disturbing you and you stop thinking about it, that's not the right way to deal with it. You need to let it play out. Don't get entangled with it. Don't think about it. Don't create a distance between you and your thoughts. And once you do that, you can let it play out and observe what's happening in your mind. And once you do that, you will see within 10 to 15 minutes that will fade out on its own. And within 24 hours, that very same thing won't bother you anymore. Now, unfortunately, this requires a lot of practice, consistency. It requires a lot of resilience, dedication. It's basically meditation. It's an art of meditation. You mustn't become one with your thoughts. You must observe your thoughts from the beginning right up until the end. You must be an observer to the actual thoughts. All right. The problem is when we are invested in our thoughts, we um, we get scared. We look at where the mind is going and we get scared, and we don't like to face the thought any longer. Why? Because it brings about a certain emotion with us. Now, yes, that emotion is real because the thought is real. But now create a space between you and the thought. Allow it to play out. You will see that you will start to heal from that. And it's going to be very, very rocky over the next 3 to 8 days. I always work on a 5 day rule, 5 days before and 5 days after. 5 days before the activity of the planet and 5 days after. Whether it's a retrograde, whether it's a new moon, full moon, whether it's a solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, or a new moon, solar eclipse, or a full moon, solar eclipse, it doesn't matter. I always work on a 5 day rule because the intensity of the planet is very strong 5 days before and 5 days after. Absolutely strong. It's like this. You've got a car that's coming in. The car is very far, but you can hear its music. It's far, but you can still hear its music. And as it comes close to you, you can hear it getting louder and louder and louder. When it's right by you, it's very loud, and as it goes away, it gets softer, softer, softer. But you can still hear it. So this can be described as a pyramid. The rise 5 days before, 5 days after. Peak is here, but the activity is still strong before and after. So it can be described. It's best to describe it like that. I'm trying to bring the spiritual part of it and make it comprehensible so that you understand. Now, this is particularly happening in your relationships. If I look back exactly 2 years from now, or 2 years ago, actually, what was the theme that were happening in your life at that time? The questions that you got to ask yourself is, have I really moved on, or have I moved on, or have I healed? Moving on and healed is totally different. Moving on is just moving on. It's forgetting, putting it under the carpet, and going on with your business. There's a very big difference between that and actually heal. Healing means that which has happened no longer bothers you. You've made peace with it. It has no impact on you physically, mentally, emotionally. It has no impact on you. That is healed. In fact, the, regardless of what transpired, then if you have healed, you would have found the beauty in the chaos, and you have well wishes for everything. That's healed. Genuine well wishes. Not well wishes in word, but in your heart, there's absolutely nothingness in there. There's turmoil in there. So the mind, the heart, and the word has to be in union, mind, body, and spirit. This is good karma. When the heart feels a certain way, when the mind thinks a certain way, and the word speaks a certain way, what are you doing? So you cannot have expectations of something good in your life if where your mind wants something, but you speak something else, and your heart wants something else. The universe doesn't understand that language. The universe gives you exactly what you are, not what you want. Now, during a new moon solar eclipse with a Mercury Venus retrograde in Pisces with Saturn's presence in there, which has a direct impact on their polar opposites, which is Virgo, which is Libra, Virgo and Libra. And if you look at Virgo and Libra, these are air and this is an air and earth sign. So there's going to be lots and lots of activity happening in your physical life, but it first happens in your emotional space, in the space. It happens in the space. It happens in the astral dimension in your subconscious mind because of the moon, and it manifests itself in reality in your physical life. So it's gonna play out. It's definitely gonna play out. So the signs that are impacted by this definitely Aries, Libra, Pisces, Virgo, Taurus, and Gemini, and a bit of Aquarians as well. Cancerians, there's a slight impact on Cancerians and Leos, but the signs that are majorly impacted by the activities that are happening in the sky right now is Pisces, Aries, Virgo, Libra, Taurus, and Gemini. Why I say Taurus and Gemini? You've got Saturn in the 10th house and 9th house, aspect in the 3rd house and 4th house, respectively for both signs. So there's a lot of activity happening in the home life and career. There's lots of you have a lot of confusion, Geminis and Taurians, activity happening in your career where there's lots of confusion, lots and lots of confusion happening in that area of your life. And when Mercury goes direct on the 14th of April, when Venus go direct on the 8th of April, we can slowly start to see things unfolding. Whether it's good for you or not, it all depends on the karma you have sown. But this live here is to do the recap on that. I'm not going to go and do a recap on all the signs. Namaste, Terry, and welcome. I'm just doing a recap on the explanation of the new moon solar eclipse that's happening with Mercury and Venus retrograding in Piscean energy along with Saturn's aspect to it, or joining forces with Saturn. Now, Saturn really doesn't do very well in Piscean energy at all. Depend now looking at where you've got Mercury there, you've got Venus in there. So Saturn is not in a very comfortable position right now. So the karma, this is a karmic event. What this means is, as you sow, so shall you reap. So depending on your karma, you're gonna get the return on your investment. You're gonna get the effects from your causes. Now only you know, or so you are creating karma knowingly and unknowingly. Based on your thoughts, your words, and actions, you're creating karma knowingly and unknowingly. And there's a effect, or there's an effect from that cause, and that effect is going to happen right now. Actually, from 2 days ago over till right up until the 3rd of April. Now, what do you need to do with this information? Obviously, this is requesting you to deal with your emotions and heal. Now, the word heal is just a very fancy word. Everybody talks about healing, but healing is it's not a very understood word, or it's not a word that is used in a proper context. Healing means finding beauty in the chaos. That's healing. Healing means you have found the beauty from whatever events that you have transpired, and you actually see it as an experience that have gotten you to where you are, and you're very happy with that experience, and that is healing. Healing is not, I forgot about it, I pushed it away, and I've moved on. If you are that person, then you will suffer a lot during this new moon solar eclipse. You will tear, you will have sleepless nights, you will have vivid dreams, and you will have lots and lots of thoughts and dreams about your exes. In fact, they might even pop up in your life. Whether it's for the good or the bad, it all depends on your karma. And they might pop up in your dreams, they might pop up in your social media, they might even pop up physically in your workspace. You might run into them. I've had people run into their exes in the garages for filling gas. I've had people run into the exes even when they relocated. Imagine that. I've heard of different stories. So here it is a very, very important moment to remember that wherever the planets are right now, they're giving off a certain kind of energy. They don't care what you do with the energy. The planets doesn't care what you do with energy. The sun doesn't care with what you do with its light. Whether you go hang the clothes outside or not, it doesn't care. You gotta choose to go hang your clothes out or not. Now, this is a choice that you gotta make here. With this planet, with this planetary transitions. Hello, namaste, Shari, and welcome. With the transitions, you're gonna make do and bring about the best or most profound experiences for you and the people that you love or dear to you. You're gonna bring out the most profound experiences within you. And how you do that? Meditation. But before you do that, I'm gonna do a bit of a live session with all of you, uh, live readings for you. You gotta like, you gotta follow this live, you gotta follow me actually, you gotta click on the bell icon